Well, welcome back to what must be now episode 9 or 10 of the 76 US Capri series. So as you may have seen on Facebook that I'd done a bit off camera, because just far too busy at the minute, where I've made up tension now to hopefully put a belt back on for the water pump and such, where obviously it got removed and deleted with the smog pump. So I've done that, and I've also started, well, I've removed the evap canister, another part of the smog pump setup, and got the EGR ready to blank off as well. So we'll crack on with that in a minute. I want to get the water pump sorted first, so get that sorted and then go from there. Okay, well, we got the belt fitted. I'm probably going to actually order up a longer belt because, well, I thought I needed a 970mm belt, so I ordered a 980, so I had adjustment. And a 980 is still about 10mm too short. So I had to bolt the belt on with the tensioner. But it works. I need to finish off welding the tensioner up now that the welder's not broken. So we'll get that sorted. Getting the belts off was, well, it wasn't too bad, but when you have 4 belts on it, you've got a lot of tensioners to get on undo, and some of them are right down there at the bottom. So they're going to be fun to put back on again. So I'm probably going to leave the rest of the belts off for now, just have the water pump, whilst I get a new belt ordered, because, yeah, future-wise it's going to be a lot better if it has a belt with a bit of play and adjustment in it. So I think now we might finally be ready to start tidying up this mess of wiring in here. Well, I've got the wire in, the HT leads, the vacuum stuff and all that to tidy up. Then it could do with a proper wash again, really. So I think we'll crack on with that for now. And once that's sort of tidied up and presentable, we will go back into the interior again and try and get this a bit more presentable as well. Just try and get things tied up at least for the owner then. Alright, we'll crack on. Right, so it's a different weekend now. I'm pretty sure I started off episode 9 and then things got a bit busy and I never managed to finish it. So I'll tell you what happened last weekend, which you missed. So I think we started off by tidying the bay up a bit, to which has happened. So we'll go through a few bits in a minute and we'll carry on from there on. Okay, so as of last week, or weekend, you saw me start wrapping up the looms. So I've got to what I can get to is, you've got very limited access on this without taking everything all out. So I've wrapped up the looms where it was unwrapped for the fault finding last time. Didn't have any grey tape, and I thought, well, to be fair, black cloth tape in my opinion looks a lot tidier. So I wrapped up all what I can get to here, makes it look a bit smarter. We've replaced the line for the washer bottle because that was all just, well, solid, it was just brittle, falling apart, so that's had to be replaced. What else we got here now then? We've done put everything back, tied up the wiring where possible down there, remove the old the old temperature based vacuum solenoid for the EGR, removed and blanked off the EGR there, that blanking plate. Tied up the wire into the AC compressor. I'm not sure that works still yet. Put all the HT leads and such in. Done all that. Tidied up all the rest of the vacuum lines here. Just made them look a bit smarter and a lot neater. Well, neater than Ford did anyway, by a mile. Tidied up the wiring. Could do with a relay here with a base, but for now that'll do. I don't know. There's obviously some kind of Ford special relay here for that. No idea what it is or whether we can get it, so that will do for now, at least it's functional. Removed the evap canister and another solenoid thingy-majiggy down there for the air pump, which gave us access now to the vacuum canister. made up a bracket because if you remember from previous videos, this it's like the temperature controller for the heater matrix, so I'm guessing it blows constantly for the heater matrix, and then this regulates the difference between heat and no heat. So it's vacuum operated, of course. But this was just floating around in the bay before, so it's floating around in the bay, scratching the inner wing down there. It was crap. So I fabricated a little stainless bracket up to hold that in place there, so it looks tidier, and flipped the hoses around so they fit now. So yeah, tied up wiring and all hoses in the bay from what I can do. It's still, compared to what I'm used to with my cars, it's still a mess. There's still too many things everywhere, but we can't really, without now ripping out the aircon as well, which would be a shame if that goes. Be a real nice touch to keep on this car, really. So without getting too deep into it and going all custom, that's practically as much as it can be done now without, any more than that is the owner's choice, and it's, if you go into, you take the engine out and just go for it all and start again with some of it. But for now, it's a good usable bay. You can access it. I've had a good clean up on it this morning, so I ordered this the other day. I'll give it a go. It's got good reviews. So the Built Hamber Surf X HD, and to be fair, it's really impressed me. So around by these hinges and all that, you get on a lot of Capris and that, they just collect dirt around there and it just stays there. And even on my Capri, which is always, the bay's always cleaned on that, it still collects around it. It just doesn't wash out. Bit of spray of the Surf X HD in there and a quick touch with detail brush and it's gone. All these inner wings and that before were just an absolute state. It's come up really, really well. The amount of stuff, everything was just covered in a layer of grime, oil, something or other, and it really has just, from just that, without going crazy on it, that's impressed me, that has. So now everything is actually, the majority of it's quite clean to touch. See, underneath still isn't in areas, but from above it's not too bad. Okay, so I think that's now covering what has been done up to this point. I also put the cluster back in, but we got more to do on that. Someone's broke all the clips for dash, so we gotta work around through that. So I'm thinking next on the cards would be, the owner dropped off this one the other day, which is a UK Mark II chrome and black bumper. So although it's not perfect condition, I reckon that can be restored. For now, I've just got to paint the brackets, the back of it a bit, and then I'm assuming the owner will get the rest of it sorted out, and we'll work it out tomorrow anyway. But that's going to be fitted in replacement for the American one. So I'm going to paint it up a minute, get that just a bit tidier for him, and then we'll be on to altering, putting a bigger belt like I said I was going to do here, and finishing off that tensioner bracket so we can get all the belts back on, everything working again on the front end. Okay, so we've got a few jobs cracked out. Scotch padded the back of the bumper up and the irons there just to give them a bit of a clean. Blew them off, panel wiped them, and then gave it a coat of matte black, so it's currently drying. I said one coat is dried, now it's had a second coat. So that tidies up the inside a smidge for now. I had one guy on Capri World North America asking about the tensioner to remove a smog pump. So this is what I've done here. I've got a tensioner off a, I think it's an early Renault Clio one. It's the only one on eBay to be fair, but that should be quite a generic item. So there's a lot of V-belts around and a lot of garden machinery uses similar stuff to that. So basically a tensioner pulley. I'd measured the distance off the block to where the back of the old pulley was for the belt, and I've gone with that, and that's how I've sort of come up with this big hunk here. So we've got this unit, and that bolts onto the block, and then the tensioner just bolts onto the front of that like that. And that's how we get the tension action, man. Fairly simple. Took a few minutes to measure it all up and work it all out. And then after that I had to get the belt size in that, which I'm hoping the new belt fits. So I'll crack on and install that in a minute and then we'll see where we're at. Okay, so we've got all 4 belts back on. I forgot how much I hated that job on this thing. Doing it by yourself with the 4 belts tension was a bit of a pig. But sorted. There's probably a trick to it or make something, but I don't know yet. So anyway, we got a new tensioner on down there. Seems to be working fantastic. If you can see down here. It's all running straight and true, which is nice. So yeah, that's great, that's good news. So every ancillary is back on and working again. So I think the next job now is going to be one of the ones I've been putting off. And that's seeing if we can get rid of this one here. Which is the pipe, used to go down to the air pump. But that's all gone now, so we need to see about removing that. And then how we're going to blank it. So let's look into the options here, see what's going to work and what's not going to work. Well, that's a bit more progress. Finally, I was an absolute prick, but the interior is all back in. So the owner's getting it professionally valeted, but for now we got, well, radio works. Well, I say works, it does stuff. That does stuff. A minute, the dash lights, if I turn it off a minute, it'll work. No. You can kind of not see it actually from here. That it's all lighting back up again, which is perfect. So yeah, I'm actually quite happy right now. That's one job I was not looking forward to, and it was an absolute pig. So very, very happy right now. So that's sorted. The air filter's all cleaned up, but I need some 1/4" nuts to fit it back on. Because of course, being a mix of German and American, we've got Imperial and all the American bits and bobs. It's all good. The bumper, it's all dry now, but I'm just fixing a bit of trim on the end. So that was all wedged off. They used to have a bolt melted into the trim and a nut securing it from the back. Well, that's all been ripped out, and there's nothing really left to melt it to, or at least I've bonded them. So what I've done is I've bonded a new bolt into there and some extra to stick it to the unit, the bumper, and put a new nut back there. So that's now drying. So once that's done, I can get that back on. But for now, I think it's sort of breaks out, and the owner sourced this new bit of trim for the, well, another bit of trim for the back. So we'll get that fitted, and it'll be perfect. So I'll be back shortly. I said I was going to look at the brakes, and here we are. So I've just jacked the car up. Now I'm going to try to turn the wheel, and as you can see, well, single-handedly on that wheel where I can only just turn it, so the caliper's binding really badly. As for this one here, single-handedly, I basically can't turn it, which kind of explains why it's so difficult to push. Obviously, since I've had the car sitting around, they've managed to get stuck on, and they won't release. So that's sort of for another episode now. So we'll continue back on. Okay, as you can see, we've made a bit of progress. It's back on the ground. Unfortunately, I started freeing off the brake on the other side. Managed to free it up a bit, but it's a caliper rebuild job really. They weren't just like stuck a little bit. They aren't returning properly at all. Could have spent all day there just trying to get free it up and that, but it's pointless. Pistons need to come out and need to be cleaned up properly. So that's on hold at the minute. It is freed up more than it was, but it's still nowhere near good enough to be used. So we've got this bit of trim on. Need another clip for it really, because it seems that they use different clips on the side to it doing the rear, and with the trim missing, the clips are missing. But it's on, so at least it's even now. What else we got a minute? That's sorted. Oh, as you may have noticed, now I've got Mark II bumper. Now it wasn't a completely straightforward job to fit, but it wasn't too difficult. So the American one has 3 fixing holes for the bumper each side, and are all M12 with spreader plates on the inner wings, chassis rail down there, sort of that area. So that seems a bit odd. That's pretty heavy duty, because the UK ones only use 2 M8 bolts each side, as opposed to 3 M12s. Okay, a bit heavy duty. I was hoping the holes lined up, and the rear holes lined up with the Mark II, the UK bumper, but the front holes didn't. So I had to drill new holes in the bumper irons, rather than drill new holes in the shell. So what I fitted, but while I was fitting it, and I was taking it all off, I was like, this feels like it's heavy. And yes. Now, I wouldn't mind putting it on the scales, but you wouldn't believe it, that bumper has got to be an easy 30 kilograms. It's an absolute unit. I could put that on my Range Rover, put a winch on that one, and it would be perfect. Why on earth? I thought like the Americans had like big bumpers for like safety for pedestrians and such, but no, if you hit a pedestrian with that, you're mowing them down. You're breaking every bone in their body. That is, you see the size of the irons, and then just the, no, it's like 2 layers there, 3 mil steel. It's like 6 mil thick steel there. It is absolutely insane, that thing is. Why on earth they've got, well, the rear one apparently is the same, so why on earth they got like 60 odd kilograms plus of bumper on the car? That's just insane. Whereas the UK one there must weigh about 2 kilograms, that's it. It weighs nothing. So, yeah, it does look now though much, much better. Obviously, with the American ones all done up as the American spec, it did look really nice and unique. But in general, the European ones there, the UK there, yeah, just look smarter. Not half as bulky. So I think, yeah. I think it's safe now to wrap up this video. It's gone on over the course of the last 2 weekends, so like 4 days of just odd bits and bobs. But we made quite a lot of progress now. So in this one video, we've tidied up the engine bay well and truly. Cleaned the engine bay well and truly. Got the interior back together, which is an absolute godsend because I've been dreading that the whole time because it was always going to be a pain in the ass of a job, and it was a pain in the ass. Whoever took it apart didn't just take it apart, they pulled it apart and they broke all the fixing clips, and yeah, it's just together now anyway. No idea how many knocks and rattles there are on it. I've tried to tie everything up and avoid that, but not all the trim could go bit together quite as it's meant to entirely everywhere because of everything being broken on it, and you just won't be able to source new parts for it. Not in that colour, that age, and anything that's American specific there. There's very little chance. So that kind of is what it is. So we got that sorted. Obviously we found more issues being the brakes, but I'm pretty happy. The car now is almost ready for the road again, which I know the owner's happy about, and yeah, nice to see this thing out driving and at car shows really. So that's a wrap up for this video. If you happen to enjoy the content, maybe you've got any recommendations. You think I'm doing something wrong, or might just a way of improving something. I know the quality's not amazing. The GoPro is, I hope it'll be better, but it's just not ideal for indoor filming. But it does the job anyway. So yeah, if you like the video, drop it a like, tell me what you think in a comment, and share and subscribe for more really. Until next time, I've been Jordan, and see you then. Bye.